This programme is brought to you by vinny.co.uk.
Well, welcome back to the Champions League pool here on Free Sports. What a night we have had already. Two fantastic matches already in the books. Wins already for Aaron Davies and Neil Rayburn, who currently sit atop the quarterfinal Group 1 tree. Simon, we now see Rob Wharne taking on Phil Harrison. The two losers of our first matches now go head-to-head. It's not quite an eliminator, we don't think, because, you know, second can still qualify through to finals night, but this is really almost do or die for these two.
It is. We've always had this. You know, the third match has often been like this for us in the competition. But with only one going through from the earlier groups, it was do or die. Now there is a little bit more breathing room. But if the player, if either of these two players lose this match, then they're really up against it. Even if the player, the player that wins knows that they've still got a decent amount of chance of coming through. So massive pressure on both these guys.
Yeah, it's all set for a cracker. It's, as mentioned, head out into the arena. This is the lineup then. Rob Wharne against Phil Harrison. Great match in prospect. As we talked about at the start of the show, Rob, the big outsider in all these matches ahead of competition today. I'm not sure that quite stacks up into what we'll expect to see out on the table. Phil's made his way back into the arena after that excitement at the end of the last match. We'll hear from Neil Rayburn in a bit to talk us through that. It was, I think he's just about had his heart rate settled down. Well, Phil's gone back to the middle break. He's not breaking on the cut break anymore. No need to get the 8-ball in motion. Back to his old faithful. And he's instead potted the cue ball.
Foul.
Now then. It's a great chance for Rob Wharne.
Time running.
So one thing he would say about Rob so far tonight is he has broken phenomenally well.
Yeah.
If he can get his breaks right, he only needs one chance on Phil's break. This might be it.
Yeah, the problem that Rob's had so far, the problem he had in his first match against Aaron is he had the best of the breaks. He had more first frame opportunities, first visit opportunities, but he made the mistakes when going for finishes. He wasn't able to make sure and get over the line in them. So that's what he needs to tidy up, is when he goes for this finish here, and he's going to go for it now, he needs to make sure, get that frame on the board. I think 2 times in his match against Aaron, he didn't do that, and Aaron was just clinical in the way he mopped up. Needs the cue ball to travel. This looks a little bit short.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Looks quite a bit short.
Well, I say short. He could have been. He may have been playing high for the one above the 8-ball or low for the one below it. But either way, he's finished in between the two.
Yeah, 3-ball plant attempted. That's a bit of a waste from Rob. I think he never really recovered after initially being a bit short on his third yellow. Initially bridged over, played that second yellow and jawed it and didn't quite get the angle right because of that onto his next shot, and he was just sort of chasing it, I think, after that. Feels frustrated there. I don't think it's a missed pot. I think he's trying to take the pocket.
Just trying to take the pocket, and he's actually, the fact that he hasn't has just opened this up for Rob now.
Yeah.
Rob gets a second chance, and this is even better than his first.
I just wonder if the adrenaline's still flowing through for Phil at the moment. That was a real timid little shot. Got way too into it.
Didn't want to leave the yellow into the right centre for his last ball, because landing on the 8-ball from that yellow is going to be difficult. He wanted to leave the yellow he's playing now as his last ball. If this is straight, he can screw it straight back though.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, back it comes easy enough. Although this bridging is a little bit awkward.
It was awkward, but in it goes. So 2 bites of the cherry required for Rob Wharne, but he'll be pleased that he did get that second opportunity and he was able to make sure, and he does take that 1-0 lead. Well, Stephen Jameson said that he was going to get a few words with Neil Rayburn. Well, he's popped out to get that now.
Yeah, I certainly have, Neil. Just talk us through when Phil's lining up that break to try and make a golden break to tie the match. Your reaction said a lot to us on that replay. What were you thinking?
It was crazy, really, because obviously I've cleared up to go 3-2 up, and then Phil didn't realise he had some time left on the clock. So we've gone back out to the arena, and I've actually said to him, "Don't pot the break now, Phil." And then obviously he's broke, and I couldn't really see the table because he was standing where I was sitting. But then I just saw the black fly towards the pocket, and to be honest, I nearly fell off my chair.
Well, prior to that, you had a fantastic performance, of course. 3 break dishes off your own break. One of those breaks was hit so hard, I think you potted 5 balls. You seem to be in great nick.
Yeah, I've been practicing again this week, so I've played every day this week. So just give myself the best chance, because I know I'm in for 3 tough matches tonight. So yeah, I put a bit of effort in this week.
Yeah, and when you qualified through from your 4th group, of course, that was a really tough group originally as well. If you get through to the next stage, you'll have for sure done it the hard way. What do you make to your opponents tonight?
Yeah, they're all very good, obviously. You know, Phil, Rob, and Aaron. You know, Aaron got to the IPA World Final, so he's a brilliant player as well. So every match is going to be tough, really. And you know, if you don't play well, then you're just going to get beat. So you just got to play your best.
Playing your best so far, I'd say. Yeah, good luck for the rest.
That's great. Thanks.
Back to you, Si.
Oh, just as you come back to me, it looked like Rob was going to pot the 8-ball mid-frame, but it does stay on the table. And this is going to be a slightly tricky little frame to work out. Problems for yellows, but that 8-ball going, or that red going on top of the 8-ball is going to make it problems for the reds as well. Oh dear. That's a couple of really loose shots so far in this match for Phil. Is foul off the break and then loose safety shot in his only shot in the last frame, and a foul on this shot. So a very loose start for Phil.
Yeah, it has been. That's for sure. And you can see he's frustrated, sat in his chair there. As well he might be. A bit more interested now. Red hasn't come quite too nice for Rob. But
we've seen it's been a tendency throughout this whole competition. The player that's lost the second match, that's had to go back out and play the third match, they've struggled. They've struggled to really get going in that third match, because they've had to go straight back out after a loss, and all of a sudden, you know, all that time, you know, all that effort to get through to this stage, and it could be gone so quickly. I think he can play this off the yellow. You see the tap of the knee from Phil Harrison. Perfect position here for Rob. And even that little flick on the red, which he didn't want.
Well, that's come out nice, hasn't it?
Yeah.
That very nearly came out a little bit awkward for him, but that's come out beautifully for Rob. And a pensive-looking Phil Harrison is about to go 2-0 down here. Easily done in the end for Rob Wharne. Excellent clearance, 2-0 up. It's just what he would have wanted.
Yeah, he's needed a couple of chances in both of the frames, but so far Phil's not really had the races in this match, and he's been given those 2 chances he's needed in each frame. His time is running out for Phil Harrison, the favourite for tonight's group.
Well, a reminder of what we've got to come in quarter-final number 2. This is next week's lineup. Oh, I can't wait. I mean, this week's is good, next week's maybe even better. I don't know, it's hard to tell, but either way you look at it, what a lineup for quarter-final 2.
Yeah, we've got 2 of the all-time greats, 2 of the biggest names in Paul, in Chris Melling and Michael Hill, but also David McNamara and Sean Story, who are brilliant in their routes, in their groups to get through to this stage. And
it's almost 2 of the established greats versus maybe 2 of the new generation, isn't it? You know, 2 fantastic younger players in Sean Story and Dave McNamara, who have lit it up really in the last sort of 6 months.
Yeah, and just before we went live tonight, I got a little message from David McNamara just to let me know that he'll be winning next week. Very much tongue-in-cheek, but he is feeling confident and he is playing well, so it wouldn't surprise me or anyone if he does manage to get the victory next week.
The other ball's in play.
Oh, it did drop in for Phil Harrison, just about. Not sure if he wanted it to or not, but either way, doesn't look comfortable out there at the moment, does Phil? Needs to settle.
Just needs to get hold of this cue ball and then he can settle. Although the way he's shrugging his shoulders, I question whether this yellow goes to the top left, and if it doesn't, I'm not sure he's on anything else. Even if this does go, the positional side of the shot isn't guaranteed.
I think it squeezes by, but yeah, I think that's the main crux of it, was the positional side. He's still on it, actually. He's chasing a little bit.
One good shot, just open everything up and get control of it, get to grips with his finish. That's okay.
Yeah, I think he'll take that.
It's still not going to be easy to get from his last yellow to the 8-ball. I don't think the 8-ball goes to the bottom left-hand corner, and he's going to have loads of angle on the yellow into the centre pocket. If it goes to the corner, he might play for it in the corner.
Oh, that was a risk, and that's white. It was a big risk trying to knock the 8-ball close to the pocket.
I wonder whether he was. Maybe he was trying to slide by it. The problem he had is if he left himself low on the yellow, he couldn't get on the 8-ball. So he's trying to maybe, if he wasn't trying to move the 8-ball, maybe he was trying to slide by it and get high on the yellow to come down the table. It's difficult to tell, but it's a visit that he never looked like he had control of.
Well, the gauntlet thrown down then to Rob Wharne. And it's a chance, but it's one that needs working out, because yellows are still not done here. It's not a guaranteed finish. The red next to the 8-ball is the key, and Rob needs to figure that out. And he doesn't necessarily need to play it soon, but needs to figure out his plan for it soon.
Yeah, exactly. I'd like to see him attack it early. He needs to hit a cushion.
Oh, that's going to be a foul.
Foul.
I was just about to say that these are the sorts of situations that we see the top players look so clinical in. They find the right way to either open it up or play a good safety shot, then go for it. And Rob had to do that, and unfortunately he's come unstuck quite early and not reaching a pocket there.
Yeah, so just to be clear, the foul there committed was
extension call.
You have to hit a cushion after contact. Obviously Rob playing a straight ball in the middle of the table, never hit a cushion, and it's such a soft one to give away that in that scenario. And we talked about, you've just said there, Simon, the top players never seem to give you that second chance. We're about to see that in action, or are we? As Phil got stuck to that red, does this 8-ball go?
I think he could see enough of this to the top corner. It's not an easy pot. It's far from an easy pot, but he has to make this.
Oh, what a pot. What a pot.
Right.
Well, that does just go to show that point, doesn't it? The best players punish the errors. And that's why Phil Harrison is one of the best. That is a pressure pot and an absolute money shot. To keep himself in this match, maybe even the tournament.
I was about to say, this could be a massive moment, not just on this match, but the whole night and the whole tournament, really. That was, Phil was struggling. He was a little bit shot mentally. He's a little bit frustrated with the way the first match had gone. And, that was a frame, although it wasn't going to be an easy counter clearance from Rob Wharne, that was a frame that he knows he should have worked out a way to win it, whether that was to play a good safety, to play a developing shot whilst keeping it safe, or even if he was going to go for it full-blooded, find a way to do it. He should have won the frame, and now he's still in front, but he's going to be the guy that feels under pressure.
Incredible. Oh, where's the 8-ball? Oh, I'll tell you where the cue ball is.
Foul.
Oh, Rob's been breaking
Ball
like
behind
a
the plate,
train all night.
Time running.
And he's kept it going here. It's another fantastic split. Plenty of balls down. It's a tough one to take for him.
And he's unlucky as well. It's not like the white's flown straight in off. It's come across the table. He hits that second ball break so hard. It's really hard to hit the break that hard. And he gets such a big split off it. It's not a surprise to see the 8-ball flying around the table with the way he breaks that. He has been doing it all night. It's been fantastic, but on this occasion, it's going to hurt him.
Yet again, I just feel Phil's rushed. And when he's rushed, he's less clinical. Looks more likely to make a sort of silly mistake. But this is the quality of the operator we're dealing with. And even when he does run out of position, that was a loose positional shot, forced by the time pressure. He plays an unbelievable pot to get himself back on track. Still needs to do a little bit of work, mind.
Yeah, I want to see him get control of this cue ball and be pinpoint. The reason he is a great champion and a former world champion and regarded as one of the great players in the game is because of his cue ball control and his patterns. And so far in this match, he just hasn't got control of the cue ball.
It's going to go right down to the wire, I feel, this match.
Could do with the white bouncing. He would rather have been straight in on this. And you can see by his reaction, he's probably half ball when he wanted to be straight. He should still have no problem. He could just drop this in and hold for the 8 ball.
Some shot there. Brilliant clearance from Phil Harrison.
Frame.
Punishes the foul off the break by Rob Wharne. That's the sort of clearance we expect to see from Phil the Farmer. And just goes back to what we were saying, you cannot make a mistake against players of this quality. They will punish you. And it's barely a mistake from Rob Wharne, as we are reminded of the sort of operator that Phil is dealing with across the other side of the table. Former Masters winner in this venue, Supreme Masters winner. Tournament, I'm fairly sure Phil would have been in. I think he's been in most.
Yeah, it might well have been. I don't know exactly, but yeah, it's Rob's got a great record, won some big tournaments.
Frame 5.
But he'll still be sat there thinking about not the frame that's just happened where he went in off, but he'll be thinking about the frame when he was 2-0 up. He'll be, he shouldn't be. He needs to forget about it and wait for his next opportunity. But you could just see him there with the head down, looking frustrated.
8 balls on the move. It isn't kicked in. Very nearly was though. This is a decent split here. It's a little bit like what we saw with Aaron's breaks in match 1, Simon, in the sense of a lot of balls are tracked towards the same side cushion, but actually
Yellow balls in play.
it's congested, but there's potential there, but maybe not now. This second shot's awkward now. Can he force a plant? Yes. Where's the cue ball? Might be back in control.
It's still going to be a really tough finish to work out. The yellow nearest the break line, that's a really tough ball to land on. The 8 ball's going to be a really tough ball to land on as well. The fact that he's made both balls there is not going to help him.
Yeah, that wasn't as played at all. He's actually planted it so beautifully in the heart of the pocket. That was actually really difficult to do.
Yeah, if he was trying to do that, it's hard to do.
Oh, can he see enough of this? No, it is just a safety. And just wonder how safe this is, because now that you've moved some of those yellows out of the way, reds don't look that bad as Phil gets his running shoes on.
You'd much rather be on reds than yellows now, the way the table's laid out, just because of you've got the number advantage.
He's missed that by such a distance. I almost assume like he's played to take the pocket, but it's tough to tell, Simon. What do you think there?
It'd be a strange choice to take the pocket in that way. There'd be no advantage for it. So I think he was probably just playing it slowly. He was probably trying to make it and then be on a plant to the centre pocket.
It's a great counter shot from Rob, really is.
We may see Phil play red onto yellow, get the yellow off the table and just leave the cue ball somewhere at the bottom of the table. He's just come round to check to make sure he's not leaving the yellow right at the top of the table on. And he's left. No, I think he's left half ball. I don't think he can see enough of it.
Don't think this will stop Rob trying it. He's not got much left.
Possibly a cross double on it. Your double kiss will be close. Can't see the one in the middle of the table. So what else can you do? Just play off it slowly. But it's the reason he's played that rather than doing anything aggressive is that yellow's at least blocking the top right-hand corner pocket for a couple of the reds. But sometimes you're so far behind, it's worth trying to take something on, but sometimes you have to try and make them work hard to win the frame.
Is that white ball? He's okay. You can see he's been, I'm going to use the phrase, uncomfortable with the shot clock almost all night. He handled it pretty well against Neil, but in a match here against Rob where he's not been quite at his vintage best and he's having to work quite hard, he's having to work really hard against the shot clock.
And he's left the yellow on. That being rushed this time, and I completely agree with you. I just feel like he's been chasing in this match, and that's why he's been struggling with the shot clock more in this match than the first one. And that second chance again to Rob.
This is massive for Rob Wharne. This has to go.
That 8-ball's not really easy to land on. He looks like he's straight. He could probably pinch the pocket a little bit, but I'm not sure which pocket he can play for the 8-ball in. Doesn't go to the bottom right. Don't think there's enough of it to be able to play it in the centre. So he's trying to move into it.
Does he have a shot?
He may well have a cut back to the top corner. He can see the 8-ball. No, he's going to come off one cushion into the centre. Go close here.
Missed it. Well, let's off for Phil Harrison. This should go now pretty comfortably, and he'd be wise, actually, Phil, to take his time about it. As much as we've sort of spoken about the shot clock being a problem for him and feeling rushed, he should now, with a clearance as simple as this for his impeccably high standards, should take his time. He wants to take as much time off the clock as possible. You can see him there checking, and I think that's the strategy now. Now that he's got a clearance and a table like this, he can afford to clock manage rather than be chased by the clock. He's the one now in control rather than what felt at times like the other way around.
There'd still be just enough time, I think, for Rob to be able to make especially with the way he's breaking, so certainly be enough time to make a golden break, but I think there'll still be just about enough time for a break dish as well. So, yeah, I think Phil Harrison's absolutely right to be doing this, but also it's just too much time on the clock to really kill it.
Yeah. But 20 seconds doesn't sound like a lot on a shot, but you could use a minute here, which does seem like a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, the difference between having 2 minutes and 1 minute on a breaking dish is quite huge.
Phil is going to go 3-2 in front. Rob be hoping to have his right of reply. (3-2) Harrison. 1 minute and 50 seconds remaining, which is, by shootout standards, oceans of time.
Yeah, and I think Rob's got to focus on this next break and really try and make something happen, and there is enough time, but he's also going to be really frustrated because he's from 2-0 up, he's had 2 frames where he's had great chances, not just to win the frame, but also to really separate himself from Phil Harrison, and he hasn't taken them, and all of a sudden he finds himself 3-2 behind, and he's already lost the first match of the night. So this has really gone against him very quickly from a position where he'll probably feel like he should have made sure of the victory.
Should have been 3-0 up.
Yeah, no doubt.
Should have been 3-0 up, and that might,
Frame number 6.
Might come back to bite Rob Wharne.
Trailing 3 frames to 2.
He's going to go for the cut break.
Time running.
He hit a hammer of this last time we saw him break, but went in off. Needs a good one now. It's a good break. He has made a ball though. He's got a chance. It's not the best of lies.
It's a decent split apart from a couple of balls that come together on the bottom right-hand corner. one
Yellow
good
balls in
cannon
play.
required to open those up. Also a yellow just nearest the left-hand side. It's slightly awkward, but he can open that up now. Could do with that red dropping.
He's got the angle to go into the yellow on the cushion now, I think. 1 minute, 5 seconds remain.
He's got too much angle. Had to play the plant. He had too much angle on the one that looked like it might be the good angle until we saw it from the overhead. And he had too much.
Phil now can afford just a run clock. He has to pot a ball to be able to do that, though. He has got the one over the pocket, but doesn't really want to give that one up. Just in case. Oh, what a good pot that is. And that'll ice it. That's the dagger for Rob Wharne. Phil Harrison won't have any more late match drama as we saw in his game against Neil Rayburn. He nearly snatched a point where he jawed the 8-ball off the break. Going to be a much more mundane end, but he'll be happy with that. 3-2 will be the victory win for Phil Harrison, who stays alive in this quarter-final group. Great match from Phil Harrison, who was staring down the barrel of 3-0 down. But in the end, a great comeback. 3 frames on the spin for Phil the Farmer to win it 3 frames to 2.
Looking at those stats there, the only one that really jumps out at me is that foul from Rob Wharne. That was the moment in that match where he was 2-0 ahead and he's got the frame 3 at his mercy, and he fouled by not reaching a cushion. And that was the massive moment in this match. That is the difference between, I feel, Rob winning the match, because at that moment, Phil was gone. And actually, credit to Phil, the black he had to pull out after that foul was absolutely brilliant and got him back into the match. But, you know, that foul will really hurt Rob.
Well, what a match that was from Phil Harrison. A great comeback from him. And we still have plenty more to come. It's Rayburn versus Davies next.
This programme is brought to you by Vinny.co.uk.